Hello and no, start again. So whenever you're ready. Hello everybody, welcome back to the latest Kate and Assad Do Business videos. Unfortunately, Kate is still not back with us. So this week I'm joined by Louise Johnston and James Proctor. James you'll know from...
You nearly forgot my name again, man.
I said James Proctor. This week's topic is called It's Time for Change, and I'm going to be asking James and Louise if they would consider a career change.
Are you trying to get rid of us?
Depends on the answers, Louise. Depends on the answers. So my thinking around this is obviously loads of people have career changes at various parts of their career, different reasons for that. I'm trying to understand what would need to happen for you guys and what you think for other people, why people make a decision to have a career change. So obviously you can only answer that for yourselves, but then also kind of why you think other people would want to do that. So James, you can go first. Would you consider a career change?
I would. It's an interesting one for me because I already have.
Okay.
So I've already had a career change. Really, I started out in more corporate HR and then sort of moved sideways into systems and gone from there and now do a very different role to working in a corporate HR team. In terms of what made the change happen, I think a number of things. It was looking at progression, where could you go with the role that you had, what did you want to do, and being 25 at the time when I actually made the change, sat there and thought, do I still want to be doing this in 42 years time when I'm going to retire? So if you're not happy with what you're doing, there are always opportunities to look and see what you can do. 25 is quite young though, isn't it? Yeah. To perhaps consider it a full-blown career change.
Yeah, it was more of a sidestep for you, wasn't it? You were already in HR and then you moved into more HR systems.
By that point I'd committed to a degree in HR, I'd worked in HR full-time for 7 years and progressed to quite a senior role. And I suppose that was the other thing for me, being at quite a senior position at a young age. There's only so far to go in that kind of role. So the considering what the future was going to look like was a big part of it, looking around and looking at the direction that the company was going in, but also then just seeking out new opportunities. And I know from my personality type that I'm somebody that likes to be doing different things all the time, and a company like Phase 3 is really great for that because we're always doing new things. 2 days are never the same at Phase 3, and the excitement of joining a company and at its early stages as well, it was growing at the time and expanding. It was a period of change. So in terms of would I do it again, I would, but I think only if something drastic happened in my life, like winning the lottery. I don't play the lottery, so you don't have to worry about that. But for example, if I won the lottery, I do voluntary work. I'd like to commit a lot more of my time to the voluntary work.
You do that now as well, don't you?
So I think that would be a career change for me if I had the means to not need to work again. But I could never sit on my laurels and do nothing because I do enjoy working and having something to work towards.
But is there anything is there a career you when you were a kid or something you wanted to get involved in, you never had the chance, you just didn't work like that, and if that opportunity arose now, you wanted to be an architect or you wanted to be a builder or a cricket player or whatever it is? I
always wanted to be a chef.
Okay.
And I applied to college to do a catering management course, but they didn't have enough people to run the course. So I changed my mind and did business studies.
Okay.
And then I worked in hotels when I was younger to sort of pay through college and university, and realised that actually it wasn't a career that I would want to have. Right. I enjoy sort of cooking and that kind of thing, but I think if it was a career, it would ruin it for me. So I'm glad I didn't go down that path. But now I think I enjoy cooking more. And you've got the the samples of that, didn't
Yeah,
you?
it's very
Yorkshire
nice.
Sunday lunch.
Okay, good. Louise, what do you think?
It's a difficult one because I never thought that I would consider a career change. But in the past couple of years, as you both know, I found yoga and meditation, which has just become such a big part of my life. In terms of making it a career, I'm not sure because it's more of a labour of love for me to actually practice yoga. But I am hoping to become a teacher one day. However, I don't see it that it would be an actual career change because I still like the routine of office life, getting up, the same time every day, taking my son to school, starting work just after 9. It sounds very boring, but I think for me, I like that routine. So it might be that one day I decide to incorporate some sort of yoga teaching into my life, but I don't think it would be an actual career change for me.
So yoga something you started recently?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. So it's not really been your life's passion.
No,
but it
I
has
fell
become
into it. Yeah.
Passion now? Is that the right wording for it? I think it's passion.
Absolutely. But it's like everything with me. I always just fall into it. I fell into HR, really enjoyed it, and then I met Kate, fell into HR tech, and then it just seems to sort of, just fall into these things.
That's interesting because people, when you're younger, people talk about, or if you're starting a business or you look for a job, do something that's your passion. Yeah. So that it doesn't feel like you're working. It's not a headache. It's not hard for you because it's your job. It's your passion. I haven't got any passions. Seriously, that's really bland.
Your passion wasn't HR systems.
No, I certainly haven't got a passion for HR systems. I haven't, honestly. We just launched our new website, and I think on the About Us page, I actually wrote, I've got no love necessarily for HR systems. I always wanted to run a business.
Yeah.
That's your passion.
That business could have. I don't know if it's a passion or not. It's just kind of
about it.
Probably. My main passion, my only passion in life, sad is football, and I think I'm just past that stage of turning professional now. It's not going to happen. So the business could have been anything. It could have been selling tables. It could have been selling cups of tea. I don't know what, but if I was to give advice now to my kids, for example, I would say fall into something or try and do something that is your passion. The only problem with that, I don't think you know your passion at that leaving university type age. Necessarily 20, 21, 22. Do you really know what it's all about at that age?
And then you might end up getting bored of it as well. It starts off a passion, but if you then create it into a business, that's all well and good, but you might end up finding it boring.
Because something like yourself, like finding yoga later on, then actually this is now my passion. This is something, I've done other bits and pieces, and this is what I want to do. I just think that if you do it too young, I don't think you really know what you want at that age.
I think the thing now, though, is that people are much more willing to accept transferable skills. So if you do one role, you're not necessarily having to do that career for the rest of your life. You can take the skills that you've learned in that role and transfer them. And there are key times in people's lives where they will consider change. So, for example, if you are returning from maternity leave, or if you've had a period of ill health, and things that stop and make you consider, am I actually enjoying what I do? And that's one of the biggest and best pieces of advice I ever got from an ex-colleague was do something that you love. Because being at work should never be a chore. And if you stop loving it, then stop working there.
Okay, guys, let us know what you think on the topic of career changes. It's a different ball game nowadays as well, I think, obviously with the younger generation, the millennial generation, and the gig economy and all this kind of stuff. It's a whole different ball game. So let us know what you think, and we'll be back next week.